welcome to Another Bite, where we rewatch the most innovative and intriguing pitches from Shark Tank. I'm Jorie, and I'm joined by the adventurous, the affable, and the ambitious Ariel.
How's it going?
The product today is simply astounding. It's an innovative take on men's swimwear that's more than a little cheeky. But with only $1,000 in sales, the sharks may need some buttering up. Will the sharks take a bite, or will these founders leave bummed? We'll find out after a brief sponsored break.
We all know trends, right? Avocado toast, cat videos, planking. Remember planking? But here's a trend you'll want to hop on right now. HubSpot's Entrepreneurship Trends Report is your ticket to big business growth. We talk to more than 500 small biz owners to dig into what's working for them, what isn't, and what you can learn from it all. Want to turn these trends into real results for your business today? Go to HubSpot.com/AB to download the report for free.
Today in the tank, we have Moonies, and Moonies is brought to us by founders Carissa and McKay, who are asking for $150,000 for 35% of their business, which you just got to trust me, it nets out to about $430,000. That's a lot of numbers really quick, but intended. The problem that Moonies is trying to solve for is that men's swimwear just doesn't have as many options as women's swimwear. So their solution was a fun new spin on male swimsuits. Now, for those of you that didn't see the episode, I can describe it very clearly. This product. Imagine a Speedo, little Speedo. It could be pink in your imagination. Spin that Speedo around so you're looking at the butt portion of the Speedo. Now cut a quite large hole towards the top of that Speedo. Give it a little hem so it doesn't continue tearing off. And you have a Moonie. So it's meant to show the upper rotund part of the tushy, I just suppose. I don't know how else to phrase it. It literally moons people. It's to show the cheeks off, little butt cheeks.
It's basically butt cleavage for dudes.
It's butt cleavage for dudes. Thank you. So that's Moonies in a nutshell. Thinking about our pitch, our product, and our founders, what was your thought on this one, Ariel?
This is a novelty gift at best.
Gag gift.
It's
a gag
revolution.
gift.
Yeah. I fail to see the long-term vision of this. I could see so many people purchasing this for fun, because how many people actually purchase Speedos or Tuggies or other kind of playful, like outdoor guy wear?
Well, Speedos is one thing, because I feel like that's very like they're European kind of purchase.
Sure.
Maybe not in the United States, but I see that kind of. But it's like you're getting half a Speedo. You're getting half a Speedo and your ass is out. Like, it's just...
I think it's funny. I could see someone's like funny uncle making a joke and wearing it.
Bachelor parties.
Yeah, bachelor parties. I think if they wanted to actually blow this out, like they should at least have like a little flap so you can choose when to show it and not show it a little bit.
Like a diaper flap.
You know, yeah, have a little bit of stuff, because if you're at a beach,
not everyone wants to see the heinies. There you go. I said it for you.
I don't think everyone is like into that, because it's a newer design. It's a newer type of thing that people aren't going to be like used to seeing. I could see a lot of eyeballs getting on it, a lot of chuckles, which our founders mentioned. Like,
sure,
people come up to them and like ask them about it. But I think our sharks hint on this as well. I think because this is such a novelty kind of gift and idea, you know, our founders may not necessarily be as business hustle oriented. I think they're a little bit more laid back in nature, because they did mention we have women come up to us and like ask about where they can buy these, but we don't really follow through. I'm like, that's a detail you probably should not add into your pitch and admit during Shark Tank. So then that gives me pause of like, okay, who's going to purchase this and wear this multiple times?
I also feel like it was very telling that it wasn't even their target audience. This is for men, right? Like, right, that's who this is for. But it wasn't men that were coming up to them. It was like wives or partners, or like, it wasn't even the actual men that were forced to wear it. So I watched this with my husband, and of course I was delighted and was like, I'm getting you one of these. And he was like, don't you dare. Right. So, and I think that would be a portion of the people that would be receiving this as a gift. So like literally in my notes, I have gag gift just like underlined a bunch. And then it's sort of, hear me out. There's a connection here. It sort of made me think of that float and grill bit where it was like, they had this moment where it seemed really popular and really fun. And maybe rather than the float and grill thing which happened on social media and went viral and there were like millions of likes. It felt like this was a moment that happened in the founder's own life, where it was like a bunch of people loved it and it was kind of like a in-person virality moment. People loved it. And then they used that as the justification to build a product that no one actually asked for. They have no real proof of concept beyond a single Speedo competition where, of course, you need to stand out. But then in terms of like, there were no focus groups, there was no market research. They just took this one experience and said, we're going to turn this into a company, with no actual proof that it needed to be a company. And honestly, when they said that they had $1,000 of sales to date, I was not shocked. Granted, they tried to sort of like explain this away that they were waiting for their patent and that was like why they haven't been to market yet. To me, this felt like the epitome of patent trolling. Like you're really going to patent a hole in the back of swimwear, whatever. We could get into that.
I don't think that's patent trolling.
Oh, it's just you cut a hole in a Speedo. Like, give me a break. But
that's their defensibility, so no one else can.
Defensibility to $1,000 in sales. Like, the call is coming from inside the house. Like, what are you talking about?
Jorie, if you do the math, because they sell them for $40, that means they only sold 25 units.
Okay, so even more of a like, no one's going to come after you. You're not even making the sales for people to have these on Amazon. It was very interesting as a tactic and sort of an explanation to why no sales. And it's like, sometimes Occam's razor is the truth. Maybe the reason you aren't getting sales is also that nobody's looking for this. This doesn't actually solve for a problem.
No one's asking for
Nobody wants this. But, you know, what I did appreciate is they were very fair with their valuation, right?
Yeah.
It was like under $500,000.
With only 1K in sales to date, that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't think the sharks really blink at anything sub-mil, if we're honest.
Sure.
But they're asking for like 35% in exchange for $150K. That felt normal. What wasn't normal was the fact that Kevin was just like, how about I buy your patent and then we call it good?
I think that's smart.
I know, but just wasn't even interested in them as a company, was just like, how about I buy you out? You go away with some money. I go away to my other companies and see if I can blow this up.
You know, there's specifically a company that he either works with or is familiar with that like focuses on male curvature for swimsuits.
Yes.
I could easily see this being a SKU or a special limited time drop or like a short time test for like a bigger brand to kind of own this because it's safe. They can afford to cover any risk versus like running it as like a standalone kind of business.
Sure.
So I thought that really made sense for our founders. I was literally screaming at my screen when I was like, what is there to think about? Don't try to negotiate for more money on this.
Just sell it. Yeah, because they were like, we'll sell it to you for $500,000. And Kevin was not into that. Yeah, I'm struggling to see how this could take off at scale and like where people would be wearing this at scale.
Right. I did like the brand for what it was worth. The Moonies, it's kind of alluding to showing off like a blue moon.
Yeah, the name was super
kind of cute, kind of fun, kind of playful.
Yeah, and punny.
But I could easily see like Moonies by Speedo or Moonies by Calvin Klein. Like, I think I could see that.
Don't worry, they'll sue the heck out of them because they have this ridiculous patent. I don't know. Ever since I learned about patent trolls, I swear that every time I hear a patent like that.
That is a smart business idea if you were those founders, conversely.
This is the only business model for this brand, if we're being honest.
I just think they need a little flap or something so you can alternate between like full Mooney, partial Mooney, like half moon.
Yeah, and you know what? You could patent your flap and then you can sue Moonies for having a hole. I don't even know. So the sharks were not impressed with this. I am sort of in shock because I didn't even think to do the math of like how many units. You said 25.
Yeah, 25.
Ooh, buddy. Okay. So again, benefit of doubt, they're just starting out. The sharks, I think sometimes when a business is just this new, it's going to be an uphill battle to get that buy-in. Mark just didn't see it as a fit. Daniel actually didn't think that the founders themselves had enough grit, which I felt was like a little bit of a personal blow.
Not a personal blow. They literally have a customer come up inquiring about the business, and instead of gathering their information, following up with them and nurturing them through your lead cycle, you instead just like kind of brush it off. That is a red flag, I would say.
That's fair. That's fair. Not built for entrepreneurship. As we mentioned, Kevin really just wanted to buy their patent and initially offered 100% ownership for $150,000. they countered with a royalty deal. And I really thought that they were going to sell the patent and then get a royalty deal out of it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, that makes total sense. But the royalty king actually declined a royalty deal, which is shocking.
Which good for Kevin.
I guess. Like, Kevin doesn't need more luck.
No, he doesn't.
But they tried to counter and get that offer up. Didn't go so well. And so Moonies walked away with no Shark Tank deal and no sold patent.
Womp womp.
Very much still around. They are reporting that they did receive a nice boost in sales after airing on Shark Tank. So maybe, at the end of the day, this is just an awareness problem. And because we are not the core market, we just don't see the brilliance of it yet. And maybe we will see more tushies on the beach this summer.
I don't know, Jorie. I kind of want you to buy one for your hubby and report back, but it does look like they increased their price online from $40 to $45. So it seems like they are really kind of pushing the...
Man, Moonies, if you have Black Friday deals or sales coming up, I will be scoping those out. I think so funny. I think it was so funny.
They have some really fun colors too.
I know. Anyway, so maybe scandalizing the Albert household at a beach near you soon, but no Shark Tank deal, at least for this product. Womp womp. So, okay, you've been hired as the Moonies marketer. How are you going to sell the next $500,000 worth of Moonies? What's your campaign?
This is right on the cusp. Mooney will sponsor a float in various pride parades around the U.S. and have their own little Mooney float, some kind of experiential component to it, whether it's you take your photo in a Mooney booth or something, or I don't know. I could see it being very embraced. Like, I didn't think about the LGBTQIA community until the Sharks mentioned it specifically, but I'm like, I could see this 100%, or even for festival events, setting up a little Mooney tent at a Coachella, or when you're shopping for outfits while you're at a festival. I could see that being so much fun when you're with your friends and be like, hey, I dare you to buy this, or try this on. I think that could be a really fun way for them, but they'd have to really think outside the box and have that experiential component, I think, to really blow something up like this, or just continue focusing on social media, but have some fun with it.
Definitely. Yeah. I was thinking some kind of get cheeky challenge, especially in the summertime, where it's you have fun videos resharing.
You pose in front of an aesthetic beach sunset or something.
Yes. And just get challenge. Cheeky. Yes, exactly. Because I think the thing that is so amazing about this brand is it's really pun oriented, but it embraces that.
Yes.
And I think that there's so many plays on words that you could really get people inspired around and excited about. And yeah, I think Pride Parade's a big one. I think, honestly, bachelor party gag gifts, doing bundles like that could be so fun, because I'm in the process of doing a
B2B work with strip clubs.
Yes.
Yes.
You could, though.
Supplier of movies.
There's all those Magic Mike-esque kind of... Is that technically male burlesque? I'm not quite sure. But there's Magic Mike things in all these cities and stuff. Get in with those folks, right? Wardrobe them up.
Yes.
Sell bundles for dudecations or something. Or even just do limited drops, your Valentine's Day Moonies or whatever. I think there's just so many fun ways that you could repackage this product, even if the product remains the same. You look so concerned.
Agreed. No, agreed.
Okay. Something in the data is not dataing. That's what happens. Production for today's episode was brought to you by Arie Desormeaux. Editing comes from Robert Hartwig and support from Alfred Schulz. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or wherever you subscribe to the greatest podcasts ever. That does it for me. See you next week in the tank for another bite.
This episode is brought to you by The Product Boss, a business podcast for physical product entrepreneurs. The Product Boss is for anyone trying to create consistent income and multiple revenue streams in a product-filled world. It's a podcast for makers who are asking things like, can I turn my Etsy side hustle into a full-time income? Each episode is a workshop-style strategy session with the goal of turning makers into millionaires. Learn how to scale your team, your inventory, your sales, and your revenue by listening to The Product Boss today. Listen to The Product Boss wherever you get your podcasts.